Edward and Gordon is the second episode of the first series of Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends. It was based on the stories Edward's Day Out and Edward and Gordon from the Railway series book The Three Railway Engines. Not only was this the introduction of Edward the Blue Engine, but it was also the first time the team decided to combine two stories into one. Britt Allcroft and David Mitton obviously decided, rather than having these as two separate episodes, let's mash them up into one episode. And the results resulted in a really good introduction to Edward for the TV series. The episode introduces us to Edward, an old blue engine who is feeling sad as he has not been out for a long time. One day his driver and fireman see how upset he is, so they choose him over the other engines. Edward has a wonderful day pulling coaches. The coaches are very proud and impressed with Edward, as is his crew. That night Edward tells the other engines that he'll be going out again tomorrow, but falls asleep before he could understand what they thought of it. The next morning, Gordon is bragging to Edward, telling him to watch as he rushes through with the express in the afternoon. Edward ignores him and goes to shunt trucks in the yard. However, instead of coaches, Gordon is put in a train of dirty trucks, much to his anger. He soon begins to climb a hill and stops halfway up. Edward is soon called to be Gordon's banker. The big blue engine does not think that Edward can do it, though he pushes all the same. The train is brought back to the bottom of the hill, and both engines puff together up the hill. All the while Gordon persistently complains that he can't do it, but to his surprise they have made it to the top. Gordon thunders away at high speed, cheering for himself, and leaves Edward far behind, forgetting to thank him. Out of breath, Edward slowly runs into a siding at Marin Station, where his crew give him a long drink and promise to reward him with a new coat of paint. As I said earlier, this was a really good introduction to Edward for the TV series goers. Edward is very kind-hearted, mature, wise, and keen to help a friend in need. He's the kind of character that proves that just because someone or something is old, that doesn't mean they're not useful anymore. And that's one of the lessons that comes from this episode, as well as the lesson that you should never give up so soon. So Edward's a great example to show that just because you're old, that doesn't mean you're not capable of anything anymore. And it was also the first time we get to see the trucks, but we don't see how troublesome they are until a few episodes later. And it also develops Gordon's personality. In the first episode, we see how proud he is of pulling the express. But here we see just how boastful he can be, boasting about how he can rush through with the express and how it's a splendid sight. And we learn that he absolutely hates to pull trucks. And I love the little argument he has with his driver and fireman when he gets stuck up the hill.
You're not trying. I can't do it, said Gordon. The noisy trucks hold an engine back so.
And because we don't actually see Gordon trying to get up the hill and then getting stuck in the episode, we can assume that he either did get held back by the trucks, or he just gave up at the last minute. This part of the episode was later adapted for The Adventure Begins, and it actually shows Gordon trying to get up the hill and then immediately giving up when he finds the trucks are too heavy. Now that does suit Gordon's personality, since he does hate to pull goods trains, but I like it in the original episode better because it just leaves you guessing what could have happened. Did he actually try and fail, or did he just give up because of his personality? It just leaves you to decide that for yourself. Ringo Starr once again does an amazing job narrating this episode. And I love how he gives Gordon a deeper, posher voice despite having a Liverpudlian accent. But that booming voice he does for Gordon just suits the character really well in my opinion. And once again Mike and Junior do a great job composing the music. And it's the first time we get to hear a variant of the Breakdown Train theme as well as Edward's theme. And the Breakdown Train theme was so popular that various variants of it would be shown throughout Series 1. And we'd even get to hear the official theme a few episodes later, but we'll get to that when we get to that episode. As I've said in my review of Thomas and Gordon, it might have made more sense for them to have adapted this story first since it was the first story in the Railway series. But because Thomas is in the main title of the show, it did make sense to do that episode first. And in all honesty, Edward and Gordon is a really good choice for the second episode, because it introduces us to another main character, as well as bringing back another of the main characters from the first episode. Like Thomas and Gordon, there's nothing too spectacular or exciting in this episode, it's just a good introduction to another character from the Railway series, and I always look forward to rewatching it whenever I put the DVD on, just like the other episodes. If you prefer this one to be the first episode of the TV series, that's your opinion. But in my opinion, it was a really good choice for the second episode. It introduces us to Edward the Blue Engine, the first engine to be introduced in the Railway series, and it shows off more of Gordon's personality. It's a great watch for any fan of the show, and I highly recommend putting it on again if you haven't seen it for a while. It's a great second episode to a great TV series.